All right, we are live. We are, well, you know what? I'm Herman. This is the Dear H&D Abroad, and we're here to celebrate with you. Oh, we are so excited to be here tonight. We want to share with you because we have,
1,000 subscribers.
it's a big deal to us.
It's a big deal to us,
It's a
trust
big deal
me.
to us. As you can see, we are not in our house. We're in, uh,
Our favorite community place, and that is the library.
it has been a long day. But this was important and we want to share this with you. So we see that you're here. Please shout out because we want to know that you're here. Really excited to share this time with you. This is your chance to shoot us some questions.
Yeah, just this is literally the topic I've been trying to avoid, and that is ask us anything. So we put that almost anything in there, but we know our community is super kind.
Absolutely.
And there are probably some things that you've had some questions on. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We have had quite a few new subscribers. So just kind of wanted to talk about our YouTube journey, talk about where we are. We'll probably do a full, you know, where are we as we get ready. Today is, you have 40 days left to make a difference in your life
For this
in
year.
2023. You've got 40 days left. So I'm telling you, you've got time to, to set some goals that are, that some smart goals for tasks that, anything, not just move abroad. If you want to, create a healthier lifestyle, if you want to those of us who turned 50 this year, you've got that extra makeup money that you can contribute to some of your investment funds. Look, there is going to be enough time. What's your goal? What is your goal? So we may actually change since another meeting is happening, change positions since another meeting is happening.
I'm not sure it's successful with windows
behind us.
With windows on all sides. So we'll try to protect the person behind us. All right. Yeah. So let's start off with first, let me shout out Agent Grateful. I see you. There's more people there. We want to know you're here. Give us a shout out. But we would be remiss if we did not tell you who we were.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you didn't know who we are. She doesn't like you tell them who we are. All right. So I am Herman. This is my lovely wife, Dee, and we are H&D Abroad.
Absolutely.
We've been H&D Abroad for almost a year.
Yes.
And for 1,000 subscribers worth of time. I'm also shiny. Hey, Kathy Hampton, good to see you.
Hey, Kathy.
All right, so we are on a journey to find the place, to move abroad and find the place that works for our future.
Yeah, we're looking for a place that feels like home. So for us, I think is an integration of the things that makes sense in our lives. Like, we got to be able to work there. The visa process has to be straightforward, and doesn't cost us a lot to live there. And so, and allows us to center, more than just, hey, I want to be able to make money there, but I really want to be able to grow my money. This is a place where we can invest our time and, our financial resources, but also like we can get that healthy lifestyle that'll help invest in the quality of life that we're looking for. So if that's something that you're interested in, we've been talking about these topics for 1 year. And we will continue to talk about them because in 2024, we'll be doubling down on what we're doing and where we're going. So
yes, did you subscribe to us still? So, because it's a big deal, not just the goal isn't, it was never our goal to be, popular and big. Our goal is to share our world with you.
Absolutely.
I could sit here all day, every day, all week and talk about this lady right here. But there's a bigger goal than that in this process. And so, what we want to do today is just jump into some questions. We're getting hit already. I want to say hi to, on my way out of here, Phyllis and BP. And let's throw some questions up.
All right. Ready? So,
first question is, do you think of going to Ecuador? Love the interview of Jewel and hubby. Jewel and Jean Wren, loved having them on. Yes, Ecuador is still high on our top 10. I know that sounds really crazy.
It's probably more like a top 5 list because,
it really is narrowing.
And I think what I'm hoping that people got out of that is Ecuador can be a soft landing. When you have someone like folks like Jewel and Jean and others. We also interviewed Sean, Stephen and LaShawn, who are also in Ecuador.
Of living, loving abroad.
Absolutely. And so what we have been able to see about Ecuador is community. There is a vibrant, growing interest and community for expats, but also Black expats in the area, that regardless of the area that you go, there's going to be a trusted resource to help you find housing, to help you identify folks that are well qualified. Sean, LaShawn and Stephen have interviewed Gringo Visas, who have been helpful in helping us to identify what we need to be doing to get our visa information set up. And, then there's just really the other pieces of soft landing. They use the dollar, it is Spanish. So you all know we have been very interested in Mexico. We have, we've gotten our visa and extended our visa. So we know that there is a personal investment in Latin America, the Spanish language. So that's why Ecuador just feels like it could be a really good place. We're not just looking for a primary residency visa, but we're also looking for at least 1 to 2 other visas. And I think Ecuador fits that.
So community is a part of our conversation piece. And if you've had a chance to listen to us regularly, you know that there are views for and against, pro and con, the community part. In this conversation about Ecuador, the pro is Jewel, and she swears I can't be heard. I can be heard. Is Jewel and the work she is doing in Ecuador. The community that she has built without it being an exclusive hub. It is still about the community of Ecuador. The conversation that we had with Steve and LaShawn of living, loving abroad. They're in
Salinas.
Those conversations have really made Ecuador. So yes, BP, Ecuador is still high on the list, which
12 hours of sunlight a day is when you are looking at, it's dark out there, y'all. It's dark at 5 o'clock. I can't stand it.
Yeah, she's boycott winter. I'm boycott what's it called?
Daylight savings time.
I grew up in Florida. So at 10 o'clock, the sun was still shining sometimes. It was still light at 9, 10 o'clock at night, especially during the summer. So I like daylight. I like the ability to move around and not have to creep through the dark and it feel like the day is over at 3:30. So yeah.
I won't be remiss in saying one of the possible drawbacks is that it is connected to the US dollar, so there are pluses and minuses to that. But also, we talked a little bit about earthquakes. I've never been in an earthquake prone area. They have had some they have had earthquakes that we've been following over the last year. So they've been tremors that folks have felt in different cities that we've been looking at. And so, but I don't think that what I'm recognizing is I'm just trading one possible
what I also recognize
disaster over another. Yeah.
Earthquakes are a bigger part of the world dynamic than where we live.
Yes.
So earthquakes happen in a lot of places. We live in the South, so we deal with tornadoes or hurricanes. But earthquakes are a big deal everywhere. So preparation for that, and a lot of those places have that built into their structure.
Absolutely.
Let's jump on the next one.
Okay.
So this ties directly into that. Aging Graceful, our friends at Aging Graceful, if you have not subscribed to them,
please.
We've been planning our reaction videos to the great knowledge that they've been sharing. Have you narrowed down the top 3 places you're looking at? See, this is when people know you. They know they ask you the unfair questions.
I think what we've narrowed down is what's our required list for some places. So a lot of the places, most of the places that we are heavily considered, we've talked about on the channel. Others we are doubling down just to see if there are more opportunities. So I think probably one of the top aspects is places that consider us retired since we're now age 50. So you've got a couple of paths in Thailand, in the Philippines, and I know there are other countries where I can be considered retirement age at 50. We're going to be producing a lot of content about retiring at 50 or in your 50s. So please look out for that. But what that allows us is if we have residual income, we don't have access to a pension or Social Security, but we can make a deposit. So something as simple as $10,000 or $20,000. And that all I have to do after that is just go in and have my visa renewed, no extra paperwork. It's like getting your driver's license renewed. Like that's the ease that I'm looking for with a place, because the visa access, the residency aspect is more important to me right now than the citizenship. But also, you're also peeking into, could I become a citizen? So that's why Ecuador is on the list, because it has a clear path. Mexico, we're doing the 4 years. After 4 years, we're eligible to convert to permanent residency. And then after permanent residency, then we could be on a path to citizenship. Which one of the countries we choose? What I really also want to bring out is, y'all know there are too many places in the world, and that there's a high likelihood that we want to date these countries up close if we're able to find work. So some of the choices really have to do with, because we're considering working, where we go may be tilted because of, or where we land may be because either the work requires that we be in a US congruent time zone, or that, that it is literally work from anywhere. You've got some processes that need to be completed by a deadline. You coordinate with your customers when you come online for your meetings. So, depending on the kind of flexibility we get with work as we are building up our virtual businesses, I mean, I enjoy dating.
Me. She enjoys dating me.
So I think there's some places that we're looking at, but this process has brought me a lot of information about places that either on a short term or long term could really fit. I don't like winter, good warm weather, very good cost of living when we want to keep our expenses low. They're great jump off points for travel. So you all know I love Southeast Asia. So I really want to be able to spend time in that region. Central and South America are on our list. Being near Mexico City, those kinds of things matter to us. But then there are places like Rwanda and Tanzania and Kenya, and that I have not dug into, that when we have more time to spend in those places, they meet some of our other priorities. So I've decided, just on my side, picking the country is secondary to meeting our primary financial cost of living kind of objectives.
So I'm going to answer most of these questions separately. No, that's not. Because
I got a lot to say.
No, because I think the perspectives of what is a conversation of who we are is important. It's easy to assume that either one of our answers is the answer.
Right.
And I want to share the conversation, I almost said the debate, the conversation that we have that is how we look at things. So everything she said, yes. There are a few things that impact how I look at things. A couple of weeks ago, Tracy Collins talked about the vibrations of a place. We are, as you may have heard us said earlier on, we are highly empathic. And the older that I get, the more I am keenly aware of the energy of people around me and how it affects how I move forward. This little lady and I have been together 30 years in some relationship form or the other. And as you can expect, her flow, when she's mad with me, when she's happy to see me, when she's having grief, those things impact me sometimes more than I want them to. Sometimes more than I care to admit. When I began to recognize that some aspect of the people with whom I work and the people with whom I bump as I'm traveling around, walking through the streets, that affects me also, then the energy of the people with whom we engage on a daily basis has a lot to do with how I feel and where I am. So wanting to travel more into some of the spaces that interest us on paper is important to me. It's like a school that sounds good, and then you go there and realize that, all the teachers suck and the kids are evil. It all sounds good on paper, or someplace that looks like, like crap. And then you get there and realize, there's little hole in the wall places where you get your best meal. There's greasy spoons. And you're like, I'm not going in there to eat anything. And then you can't stop going. I want to make sure that the vibrations of where we go, that's important to me. Being able to financially grow. So being in a space where I can live comfortably, but also build wealth with what resources I have. I don't have to go above and beyond and continue to work off the charts. If we're going to move abroad and I'm still going to be working 40 to 50 to 60 hours a week, then what's the point? That place doesn't work for me. I don't want to sustain a repeat life. It's like going from one bad relationship to another. I'm not trying to do that.
We didn't learn that lesson.
Yeah. Yeah. So those are kind of things that look at me. So when you talk about the top 3 places, I'm really, really keen still on Mexico, the culture and history of what Mexico brings to me. I've always been interested in Asia. I don't know if I've done the work that Dee has put in for the reasons that she's put in. but again, there's a similar energy, because I think that the Latin Indians of Latin America and South America are related to the Asians. And so there's a cultural background history that ties in that I connect to, that I respond to. Maybe that's what I should say that. So that area still responds to me. And of course, and again, these are general, this is still really general when you're talking about spaces. Connecting with our homeland is still a big deal to me. Finding a place in Africa that connects to me and to my wife in a way that we feel confident and comfortable, seen and interactive with is important, because each of these cultures come with histories that don't always resemble what we recognize. And I'm open to those things, but not wanting to necessarily come into clashes with them because I don't understand them. Take a minute. I want to say hi to Sabongale. I just want to say hi to Tanya. I see a lot of people coming in. I want to say hi to D Walker. Say hi Roxanne. See other people. Black Women Build Wealth.
Yes,
Kimmy, International Metamorphosis. Good to see you all here. Thank you so much. Tonight we are taking ask us anything questions, shoot us out of the blind. We'll tell you if you can't know.
I hope you all like that thumbnail, because I sent that to H as a joke today. I was just like, I put party hats.
I thought it was perfect. I thought it was perfect.
So I'm really excited that, you know, as much as this journey has just it's felt slow, I'm hoping that you all have understood the intention in which we are exploring, that you all are helping us to vet places or to bring new YouTube channels to our attention, that we should be, hey, that, you know, opportunities for collaboration. What I know is, if you are out here trying to do a new thing, regardless of what it is, if you are trying to do it by yourself, you are limited to what you know, what you can understand, what you can gather. You are a body of one. Exodus Summit has given to me over and over and over again. It has helped me to come out of my shell somewhat. I still consider myself having introverted characteristics where I'm timid in new spaces. But what H told me when we were dating in college, he was like, when you are passionate about something, they can't out-talk you. You come out of your shell. This is something that I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about it because as I learn, and this is Black culture that I was raised on. I didn't get here by myself, and that I have a responsibility to share. I'm learning from so many people. So people who have taken us under their wings, Stephanie Dow. Stephanie Dow. I done messed up. Stephanie Perry and Rashida Dow opened the world literally to me, to help me see what you thought about how your life has to be in the box of expectations, whether that is Black excellence, whether that is you get a job, you keep that good job, and then you retire from that job and then you die. Like, that is your whole lived experience. It doesn't have to be that way. That exhaustion that you feel is unnecessary, it is unnatural, and it is not, it does not need to be the only badge that I, as a Black woman, can carry. That everyone needs to say, oh, look how, how she's such a giver. She's, she gives people her last. I need to keep stuff back for myself. I love that we are talking about It is selfish season. And so when I'm looking at places, yes, I'm thinking about my children. Yes, we're thinking about our parents. But I'm also thinking, what's going to bring me joy? I need sun. I need sun a lot of the day. That's what I need to center. So next step.
All right. Passionate. All
Let's
right, we got another shot across the bow from
see. On my
Agent
way,
Grateful.
Phyllis, did you
Hold
say?
on.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, yeah, I did. So we got another shot across the bow. A question from Agent Grateful here. If I can get it to come up here. And what's been the most frustrating piece to this puzzle? I've been the most frustrating piece. Yes, yes, yes. That's probably the absolute truth. Yes. And I'll let you answer that on your own later.
Well, I mean, what I really think is that just when I like all about this place, and he goes, but what about? And I go, yeah, you're right.
And you know, I am an optimist and a realist. It is always we can do whatever, but I'm also what does this look like? What does that look like? A balance between dreams and realities, not to shoot down dreams, but to make sure that our dreams don't get us caught in too much reality. The most frustrating piece for me is not being able to travel enough to make a solid decision. Our resources, our situation does not currently allow us to fully stop Americanizing. I just got off work. I've been at work since before day this morning. Because 2023 came to get us. I realized that this year, we're in our year of 7, and where for some people a year of 7 is because 7 is we consider one of our lucky numbers, but 7, the year of 7s for us has always been a challenge year. What I recognized is that that's not a bad thing. It's a growth year for us. And what I mean by that is, give you an example. When our oldest son, our middle boy, was little, growing up, we always knew when he was getting ready to grow because he would gain weight and he would go to sleep. He would sleep because then after that he would lose the weight and stretch. So he would gain weight, sleep a lot, be active, lose weight, grow. We have that kind of cycle. And this has been a financially tough year. This has been an emotionally challenging year. This has been a year of growth in many places. And so those challenges and the challenge of 2023 does not allow us to say, oh, in January, we got our bags packed and we deuces. And that is, as a husband, as a partner, as a man, it is my desire to make all of her dreams come true at the wave of a wand, to be the magician I want to be, and poof, it all goes away. And I don't have a retirement pension available yet. I don't have a veteran's pension. I don't have a slush fund behind it, because there's always been something that has snatched all the extra dollars away. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that it has required a little more elbow grease and shoulder lean than I thought it would take at this point. And so our determination to do is pretty strong. And then that means that sometimes I have to slow us down to make sure that we don't, that while we're walking in mud, we don't end up in quicksand. And that's where I become the frustrating factor.
Well, and what I appreciate. It's one of the aspects. So, our channel is about couple move abroad process. And I think that's where you are the balance is, I will go hard on the information. You'll push with what about this and go back to, okay, so we said these were our core, our core requirements. And then to push me to say, yes, it may make sense on paper. It may match up with what we want, but I'm going to need to kind of almost wipe all of that away when we go to visit so that I am looking with a clear eye and an open heart and not putting all my eggs in this has got to be the place. So, I mean, yeah, we've mentioned, somebody said, I just decided and, I sold my stuff in 6 weeks. That's what happened. That we were talking to the couple last week from the Onyx Links in Thailand, 6 weeks. They sold everything, moved out of their apartment, got on a plane and moved to Thailand.
God bless them.
I just, the way my life is set up and I want to not have anxiety. I have to have some methodology that I'm using to vet a process. Does that mean when we get to a place that it's going to be golden? Probably not. But I think what this process has shown us is we can make any place work when we're together, that as long as it meets the basic criteria, like I'm not fighting for my life. It's why, as much as the beautiful salaries that the UAE offers, as much as they have zero tax, the housing, when I looked at how much a 2-bedroom apartment was going to cost, it's not that my salary couldn't afford it, but what I have learned here in the States is if I have a $2,400 apartment, what they require is that you give them checks, post-dated checks that they will cash throughout the year. You talking about being locked into a job for a year so that you can pay? Baby, ain't nobody got time for that. I'm too old to go for that carrot anymore. And so I want to be able to be in a place where I can say, this is working or this is not working. I can cut my losses. Hey, I can settle up my lease. I'm going to be legal. I'm not going to create problems, but I can cut my ties. I have learned that from having this house, buying and building this house, is I don't ever want to be caught like that until I know a place is our place anymore.
Well, one of the frustrating pieces is also one of the blessing pieces. The fact that we have not decided a place because we also aren't trying to settle yet.
Right.
A lot of the dynamics are, hey, we're trying to go here and I'm trying to plant. We aren't trying to plant. We're trying to see as much of the world as our current. Another transparent moment. My mother passed in April from the results of Alzheimer's. She would have been 79 this past September. Her father, my grandfather, died at 78 from the result of Alzheimer's. I don't know what that is in my history. Okay, I don't know what that is in my direct line. So I need to see as much beauty of the world and engage the world as intimately as I can for as long as I can, as soon as I can. That's a big deal for me. I want to share life with my girl that isn't work and stress and drama and frustration. It may never touch me, but that's not a chance I want to take.
Yep.
I don't want to take that for granted. So yes, we have some places we want to spend some extended time in, but no, we haven't nailed down exactly where we're going.
Well, trust me, I have been asked that question.
Oh,
it's not that I feel pressure. I feel the pressure from myself. And so that's motivating me to go ahead, nail down that job, girl. Go ahead, nail down that job. And yes, in 40 days, our house will be much emptier because Facebook Marketplace and other places are about to get these holiday givings that we've got to give.
It's like parents asking for grandkids. There's a little bit of pressure, but we'll get to it when we get to it. There's some comments here. I agree. The dollar, the use of the dollar and not having to convert money, that's a big deal about Ecuador. It also helps me know exactly what I'm being asked to spend.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got to try to figure it out. If you say it's $700, then I know it's $700. If you say it's $1,500, I know it's $1,500. So that's a big deal. I guess you mentioned that there's retired at 50 places.
Yeah, we're, like I said, we're going to do a whole series on places that we're considering. But yeah, Thailand and the Philippines have retired visa options for age 50 that I'm doing more research on. And as I either find more people that live in those places that are taking advantage of those, we'll have them on, or we'll just kind of run down what those visa options are, because I think in the U.S., since we live here, the full retirement age is now 67. It was 65 when we were growing up, and so the Social Security solvency required, that's why it went up to 67. We're back, or maybe we never really left the really making Social Security solvent. So there's the possibility that it could be bumped up to 70. Are you kidding me? Am I going to spend 2/3 of my life working so that I can get minimum payments? No. I know that there are other places in the world where I can live on less so that more of my salary, more of my earnings, yes, I will pay my taxes, but $350, $500 a month is how I can get affordable, quality, and in some places, luxury housing that I don't have to have a car. Transportation is inexpensive, it is reliable, it is safe, and it is available 24 hours, which I have none of that where I currently live. And that there are a lot of opportunities to do things like travel to other places that we've had on our list if we choose to live there for a reasonable amount of time. And the residency process is affordable. It is straightforward. Like, those are the things that matter to me, that matter most. So yeah, that age 50, I think that is challenging us to question the narrative that you need to wait. Oh, I'm gonna wait and get all my money. No, if you understand, if you're taking the time, and I know I'm preaching the Black women build wealth. I mean, because she went double down, deep down in that this weekend or her summit. That, yeah, I mean, 50 could be your year. You don't need 20 years worth of savings. When you start to look at the places that have a more reasonable cost of living, you don't need $1 million to live there. When you look at what could be your annual cost, it could come down to literally what most of us are paying in rent or in your mortgage. $1,200, $1,500, $1,800. If you really want to get out there and free, be off, $2,500, $3,000. A lot of us are moving our savings or can move our savings in a direction that allows us to have fewer monthly costs, that we could maximize the savings in the investments that we have through our employers, so your 401k, your Roth IRAs, the vehicles for investing that could really offset a reasonable cost of living, a reasonable lifestyle. So no, I'm ready to push back. 50 is looking retirable because I want to run when he chases me.
Trust me, she already runs away. She already runs away.
I want to be able to walk the hills of Lisbon. I want to be able to, experience the desert without, concerns about too much sunlight because of, this particular health issue or this particular medication, that I can actually access affordable, reasonably priced, English speaking specialist and healthcare that doesn't cause me to leverage my whole life with every time I go to the doctor, I'm worried, are they going to find something that's going to bankrupt me to stay alive?
All right. So before they throw us out the library, this is your time to ask us the questions that you want to ask. What do you want to know? What did you want to learn? What do you want to learn about our journey? What do you want to know about us? We'll tell you if it's none of your business. You can ask. Yeah, we can go Tabitha Brown on you. That's not your business. But you're welcome to ask. Let's see. You got some comments here. They pop through some of them. Roxanne says Jewel Wren is definitely the go-to person. Oh, absolutely. When it comes to Ecuador, Manta is an affordable place. It's welcoming. The food is inexpensive. And trust me, those are high end. Misha Speaks came through. Glad you came through, Misha. Thank you for your congratulations. Oh, such a great team.
Oh.
So year of 7. Yeah,
Go ahead, Pastor. Go ahead, Pastor.
See, don't start. So there are several things I am evaluating in my life now. I grew up in the house of a minister, and religion had a very dominant place in my life. I'm speaking individually. Had a very dominant place in my life. And if I can be honest about it, a couple of years ago, I stepped back religiously, not spiritually, religiously, because I needed to be able to separate what I was looking for in my spirit self from what I was being guided to do. It was important to me because I needed to be able to deal with what was going on in my life without associating it with guilt. I'm just telling you where it is for me. And so I made some changes about how I approached my spiritual life. In doing so, I've made a study back into what is considered Oriental philosophy. Okay, and the reason I'm saying that is we tend to think of the Orient, we tend to think of Asians, but the Orient also covers Africa. And the history of how we approach the spiritual health, spiritual lives, even what actually is in the Bible, is often dismissed, has been colonized, has been whitewashed. And I wanted to tap back into what is the experience for how we approach our spiritual connection with the divine. And so numbers and connections and times of year and numbers of years and numbers of weeks, the number 7 is very heavy in several forms of spiritual background, religious and otherwise. And I believe that is important. So in doing some history on our relationship, I began to recognize, coincidentally, that at 7s, we were.
Do you want to start with the first one?
No. we were having some challenges. 7 years into our relationship versus 7 years into our marriage, which were two different times. They kind of crossed each other. The seventh year of our relationship was the first year, at the end of our first year of our marriage. The seventh year of our relationship. The seventh year of our marriage was a whole other challenge. The 14th year of our marriage, we were in the middle of a financial crisis, which made a lot of the changes in where we are in our lives and in our career. So those things I began to tick off, and I began to recognize where those challenges were. So I have high hopes for next year. I know that next year will be a challenge because next year is the rebirth year for us. In our rebirth year, and again, these are terms I'm giving it. Our rebirth year is always a digging our way out of what challenges the 7th year brought to fruition for us. So that's what that is, the 7. So it's a Herman term.
We spend time each fall. I left it at home, but I keep a journal each year. And so I went back. We've been in this place 7 years. Because we moved to a new city 7 years ago, and I was like, oh, it is time for us to go. So yeah, I mean, I think what Herman is sharing is that we spend a lot of time trying to process our lives, to look for patterns within ourselves, patterns that look like they are repeating themselves over a particular part of time. It doesn't mean that there's a hard and fast number like 7, but that we are noticing patterns and that
they cross in our lives.
And we are here to break chains.
Yes. Yeah, we really want people to know that, if you don't have it, don't pretend that you have it. I mean, it is what it is. Make the decisions that help you to grow. Because yes, Mocha Mama, it never goes as planned and expected. And Aging Grateful, positive flexibility is the key. That is just truth. And when you are inflexible, especially in this move abroad conversation,
anxiety, depression, disappointment. Yeah. I mean, just and then it can cause tension between us. And it doesn't mean that one or both of us won't be, disappointed in a process. But I think what I love is that, hey, I'm willing to fail forward, because that means we're trying. And I know that doesn't work, or doesn't work in the way that we attempted it. And yeah, I don't need to know everything. I can invest in quality resource support. I can invest time into understanding things, talking to people, being, just kind of being transparent. So, Tanya Brooks, thank you so much. Yeah, my grandmother dying at 56, and her son, my uncle, dying at 56. Y'all, it's got me like, baby, if you only got 6 years, 5 years, 2 years left, who do you want to give it to? Your family or to this job? And the job cannot be the center. It's got to be complementary to the lifestyle.
Want to be optimistic on the other side of that. My father's mother is 94 and she can still bend forward and put her hands palm flat on the floor. When I'm trying to grab my shins, she can put her 94-year-old fingers on the ground, straightforward with no grunting. Her great-grandmother passed at 105. She got to meet her great-great-grandkids. So, we have some positivity in moving forward, but we also want to be proactive about where we are and what might be how we approach the potential challenges of our lives. Hey, Nick and Dave, thanks for congratulations. Absolutely.
Oh, and if they're in Egypt, so that's, I know, one of your places as well. So
Love to see.
It's a Wonder-Filled Life. Yep, they are in Egypt, and I know they'll be putting some stuff out there about that.
When are we coming to Manta, Ecuador? Hopefully by
We're
spring.
trying to
come by
do
spring.
2024
Yeah.
To visit Manta,
Right.
and to go ahead and start, the professional visa. I mean, just to kind of drill down, the professional visa is the path that we're looking at. So there are some steps that we need to do beforehand to confirm our degrees. You can get a professional visa with an associate's degree, or a bachelor's or master's or doctoral degree. So, and the other reason why we are potentially also coming to Manta in 2024 is all the way up to our kids are age 26, they can get residency under us. And so, when you're looking at where are places that our young adults can go with us if we need everybody to get out, and I'm not speaking negatively, but if your folk need to get out of your country of origin and need a place to go, currently they are all not married, and so they can qualify for temporary residency on the economic solvency part of that under us. And so we're thinking about our family trip being to Ecuador, so that they get a chance to experience it, and that we can go ahead and start the residency or their what do they call it? Certification of diploma, and we need to certify our marriage license. So we can do that also submit those documents during our visit.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
So we talked about the optimistic realist answer. The answer is yes. You saw that deep breath? What is that? The answer is yes. And the answer has to be yes in order to create goal setting and purpose. So we are purposeful.
We are going to lean in.
Yeah, I'm my design, who I am as a spouse and as a person, is to be prepared for contingencies. And that is to help me to weather disappointment. That is not to create disappointment or to obstacles. That's just how I'm built, because I've had my feet kicked out from underneath me more than I desired to say. But the answer is yes, because it gives us purpose and a goal. And it helps me try to reach that dream setting I talked about earlier. So that's my answer.
So 2024, and we've talked about this on our channel. So we talked about, could we take a honeymoon focused sabbatical? I'll count that as our get out year, even if it's 3 to 6 months. It's easier to do a short leave with savings, but when the money, if we're able to establish ourselves with, I just feel like I'm looking for 2024 for sustainable move abroad options that we intentionally engage, that we get the house rented, that we get the house rented. Because when I found out about that capital gains tax, if you sell before 2 years, I was like, I don't need to give any more money away. So, just 2024, I think is the year that we are declaring. And then unless the universe or the divine says otherwise, that is the way that we are moving. So I'm a part of the Exodus Summit group that came out of the 2023 summit, and that is We Out 2024. So I have surrounded myself with other Black women who are saying, this is our year, and we are going to lean in with our best effort. We're going to hold each other up. We're going to cheer each other on, and we are going to hold ourselves accountable for identifying the target, meeting the targets, and getting out. And whether that is like our Exodus Life, we're going to buy it once we know, where we're going to get our money, then we're buying a ticket, because that's going to, kind of nail our feet to the ground with, making sure that we get out of the door and don't let things like, I don't want to put stuff in storage. I don't want to put stuff in storage, but if I have to get out the door, that's what I'll do.
And I just took a note here, because we'll come back and do a video on this about the possibility of doing short leaves in order to build our growth opportunity and our search. So rather than trying to do 2-week vacations here, is that we do 3-month stays, and then we come here, and then we do 3-month stays, and we come here as we continue to build and learn. So that's something we'll come back to in another conversation.
Yep.
All right. So April.
Hey, April.
Can you tell us about the community you've built along this journey to 1,000? Oh, man. So
you.
Yes. Yes. So when we started this, our very first live, we were sitting in our closet.
No, we were in the kitchen.
Oh yeah. That was our first live?
Yeah, we start.
No. Our first video was in the kitchen. Our first live was in our decorated closet. And
soundproof was excellent.
And we were the only people present. And there was a lot of doubt about being able to connect. So let's go back. Dee is more social than she thinks she is, but she is a very protected personality. I am a socialite, which admittedly is a defense mechanism. So I learned to share in ways that look like sharing, that aren't, in order to defend my privacy. That's when you grow up with parents who have community around them, and people have expectations for you. So I built that. So we both have defense mechanisms that come out. And so doing this, I've always believed that if we were going to do this, it was going to require a level of intimacy with an audience that I don't know if either one of us were prepared for, and she definitely wasn't prepared for. And so what we've done is we started off with what was real and what was comfortable for us. And you all have embraced us in a way we didn't expect. Absolutely. We found out that going live was easier for us. Originally, the plan, the reason was, anybody got time to edit? Nothing. Anybody got time for that? I did too. It's enough of a challenge to just show up. And you're talking about going back and reading and shit. That we tried that with the first few videos, and oh hell no, we're not going through all that. And so we decided to try going live every week with an audience that didn't exist. And then we started meeting people, trying to have the conversation we were having. So we started collaborating. And over time, you all have become a resource for us that I was unprepared for. Mm-hmm. That I was unprepared for. I don't know if I believed we'd be at 1,000 today. I was willing to try, but I don't know if I can say I believed we'd be at 1,000 today. And there are people who are at 1,000 their first 2 months, their first week, that wasn't. I mean, I'm not trying to be, YouTuber Herman. I mean, I'm just that dude. We're here to share, and yeah, we have talked to some people. I haven't had an interview yet. Some have been more of a challenge than others, but I haven't had an interview that I've disliked. We haven't talked to anybody that I just haven't been amazed by, that I'm not in awe with. Our conversation with you, April, our conversation with David and Nikki, your conversation last week with Black Women Wealth, when Black Women Build Wealth. Thank you for interviewing my wife. we hope to interview Intentional Metamorphosis soon. I mean, our conversations with Aging Grateful, there are people, we have talked to people in Africa, we have talked to people in Latin America, we have talked to people in Asia, we have talked to people right here in the States, couples, singles, young, older, and every conversation we come to the end, I'm like, wow. And any one of you who interviewed us know when the broadcast goes off, we talk for another hour.
We keep saying that's the after party that probably should be recorded, because the sharing, the connection, the follow-up, the fellowship of, hey, we're not just meeting together for this one for this one interface, that we are building community. A couple of things I want to say about the community that I've been fortunate to build. So I am going to go back to Exodus Summit, because Stephanie Perry does a Get Found on YouTube class. Mm-hmm. She just held one. She probably does it maybe 2 or 3 times a year. And one of the things that she suggests is, your barrier, if you've got, no experience in editing, don't edit, go live. If you don't know anybody, the people who have taken this class with you, they understand what you're trying to accomplish. Find people to connect to. Interview each other on your channels, even if someone doesn't have a channel. Giving people the opportunity to share with their network of friends, and for them to become a resource to your community. But I was just like, and so literally my Exodus Summit sisters, my Exodus Summit family, starting with Rick and Halisi of Our Black Utopia. They knew we weren't going to Portugal, but they took us under their wing and said, yeah, we'll be your first guest. It was, we learned about technical difficulties with them, but they stretched. I mean, and that's what the difference community is making in the 1,000 subscribers, the first subscriber. You all have talked, we have connected with people with adult children, people who are taking their young people with them. I mean, there are so many connection points. We have been very, very proud to start as a Black couple moving abroad. We were having a lot of difficulty finding that on the internet. And so literally we got together with Tracy Collins, who is a wife. I got with Holly of Island Time Adventures. We got Angela of Lamar and Angela, and literally we were just like, we're going to highlight Black couples, and literally that's how I continue to get confidence. You surround yourself with a community that understands what you're trying to do, and they lean in with you. We lean into your process as you lean into ours, and we are forever thankful for that momentum.
Without a doubt. What are the top 3 countries you're seriously considering? If we had to choose 3 right now, Mexico, for me. We're fluctuating with maybe Thailand because of the information we've gotten about Thailand,
and maybe Philippines, based on what came after that conversation.
Philippines, Ecuador.
Philippines, Ecuador.
I'm still fighting with that 21 months stuck in
Spain is still.
Yeah.
in my love.
So we just passed
circle.
3 with that conversation right there.
And then, then Rwanda. I mean, I don't even know where to put it on the list because it's almost like it's a given. Like what you said when we first started to seriously talk about moving abroad, he said, we don't go anywhere without considering Africa. Mm-hmm. And I am in complete agreement. But when you've got 56, 58 countries?
Don't get me to embarrass myself.
Maybe. I mean, I'm just like, okay, so we're going to have to date Africa. I mean, just spend some time. Yeah. So yeah, it's hard to narrow down. I think that any of what we have put on our channel is an eligibility for where we start.
Right.
How we put that together, really, I mean, I don't want to put us on a timeline, but I can tell you, teacher exchange solves the job problem. And we have highlighted a couple of those opportunities. Where you can be paid either in euros or be paid a reasonable teacher salary. I mean, and so we're looking at both countries and opportunities, places that offer us solutions.
Okay. Let's go down through some comments. Yes, faith and spirituality without the guilt and shame. Mm-hmm, yes, moving abroad has allowed me to easily separate religion and spirituality is a need that you don't realize you need. Yes. Yeah. Enough said.
Yes, this is exactly why we are on this channel.
Thank you so much, Tanya. We're just trying to share the experiences of what we have and the people around us. Servant teacher Nikki just returned from 9 days in Egypt. Jealous. And what I learned in Egypt is great to visit, but I could never live there. But our people are truly everywhere. Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's trying them on.
Whoa. I had a coworker today die at 48. We had a meeting for about 10 minutes, then went on with the work days. Yeah. Yeah. I had a mild stroke at 46. So every birthday now is rebirth for me. So trust me, I get it. We met in Morocco. Phyllis said we met in Morocco.
Okay. So Phyllis, message me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, because Morocco was all of that. All of that.
Hey
Professor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. I think, kind of how we got to 1,000 subscribers is you. I mean, is our effort to try to be consistent, to be transparent, to bring your questions forward, because a lot of things you all have asked, and I was just like, I needed to know that too. And our guest. I'm hoping that the collaborations that we do, if you've got some other folk we should be considering, please hit us up in the comments. Please. If you are joining us on the replay, thank you for joining. Put #replay. Make some suggestions on people that may be doing this journey that would be great for us to collaborate and give some insight that they've gained. We love talking to people who are planning to move abroad, who have recently, within a year, have moved abroad, because the pain still hurts. It's still palatable. And then we love talking to people that have been there a while, that say, after the bumps and the scrapes and the hard knocks, there's a lot of joy. The people, the language, the food, the opportunities, what you learn about yourself, that self-discovery, what you learn is about yourselves as a couple. There's a lot to learn, and we are looking for those opportunities. We'd love to get those suggestions from you.
Oh, Sabangale, yes. Touch on that. Because, that's not just in our personal relationships. That's also in the vulnerability state. And that's also a part of the move abroad process, because you've got to get up close in people whose culture and background is not your own. Or you're taking yours and dropping it in the middle of theirs and then wanting to figure out why you can't make it work. Yeah, that's another one for another day. She said that 3-month stay might not be a bad idea.
Yeah. That's what Alam and Jean did in Rwanda, and they were just like, "Oosh, yeah." That 3 months. I mean, we already have difficulty going to Mexico for 2 weeks. We had, like I've shared, we have a pact. I get on the plane and I bring him with me. He gets on the plane. He makes sure that I'm on there too. So we are ready to go.
Yes, we have organic subscribers and organic guests. You all are that.
Yes, thank you, Sam. Thank you.
Let's see. Fellowship. Yeah, we appreciate it. That's our whole thing, is these conversations that, man, we just between the two of us, we're geeked up after just talking with you guys. We're she's still learning to like me, Kimmy. That's the beauty of moving forward.
Yep. So 2024 is also an important year. It's our 25th wedding anniversary. So, I mean, yeah, like who wouldn't at least want to take a reasonable time off to, to reset for the next 50, for the 50 we want in front of us. Yeah. So there's a lot of motivation to leverage opportunities that help us to be successful in the move.
Yes. Nikki said she and David are working their way to doing live videos. It's hard in these introvert streets. Hey, one of the things, and you all know, those of us who've interviewed with us, when we start these conversations behind the scenes, we say this is an organic conversation. We have some structured questions. We come to the table with some things, but we want the people who are guests on our shows, as well as the people who join us live, just shoot from the hip. I mean, we're not going to always agree, and that's okay. We're not going to always have the same approach to it, but that's okay. That is what makes us unique and individual, and it's what also makes us whole. So definitely. So go for it. We will support you. We'll be there with you live. Let's see. You got how on here?
Oh, okay. So how to reach out to us? Instagram. Message us on Instagram. Yes.
Let's see. Ty said yes. It's hard narrowing it down. Yeah, well, you are the inspiration.
Where y'all? I mean, y'all asking us where y'all thinking about going?
Yeah.
Where if you all are in a place, tell us where you are. If you've moved abroad, if you are considering some places, put them in the chat. Because hey, I want to know about y'all too.
Victoria, we are sitting in a library in North Alabama. That's where we are. That's where we are. And until we're making some hard decisions. Mm-hmm. We're making some hard decisions. One of our individual as well as collective challenges is our heads filled with ideas, our heads filled with information, and sorting it out and narrowing it down. Going back to that question earlier that Agent Grateful asked about what's most frustrating, we are our most frustrating thing. It's because we want everything and everywhere, and we want it right now.
Because we felt very confined. I mean, at least from my perspective.
Yeah. We have had an innumerable number of businesses and business ideas over the course of our marriage because they just come They just come, and you want to do this and you want to do that. And people ask me all the time, what's your specialty with my food, with my chefing? What's your specialty? And it always starts with that right there.
Good food.
Because since we've been dating, I'll say, what would you like to eat tonight? And that's the goofy answer I get.
He always makes me good food. So I don't understand the tension there. I don't understand the tension, but that's okay.
Because then it gives me nowhere to start. And sometimes this journey feels like that.
Yeah.
Everything is good food. Everything is good opportunity. Everything is a good option. Even when it's not a great option, it's not my current option. And really want to do everything. And I think a part of the reason we have had the challenges that we've had, those 7-year dip challenges, is because I think it's the divine's way of keeping us in check. Because I think we're prone to trying to do too much, and it makes us prioritize and keep things in perspective. I honestly believe that. We are not spenders. We are not frivolous livers. We're not trying to meet and I've had this sweater way longer than I needed to have it. I'm still wearing it. It was in the thrift store pile. It's back on. It's just what it is. But we can dive in hard to something, and when what happens is we damage ourselves. And I think sometimes challenges come our way because it requires us not to work harder to complete them, but to step back and find more efficient ways to do it so that we can be our best selves. And it's really hard to accept that as firstborns. It's really hard to accept that because you're saying, I want to be able to win. And, it feels like we're losing. But I can't say that any of the million jobs that I've had that I've hated haven't been the reason I'm successful at the work that I do, because it is. And that is a frustrating lesson, but it's an honest one.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, it was narrowed down because we got to wind down.
Oh, I'm about to mess somebody else up.
So don't tell nobody that they're in SMA.
Hey, you got to look out.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes open.
And
tell us.
In
April's headed. Yep. And Dr. Tijuana is in Merida. So I'm just like, my folk. Guatemala is on my list because of the tax-free. Y'all need to get out here. Don't give it tunnel vision. You need to be looking around, look at where your tax advantage countries are. So, yeah.
So your girl said she thought that she knew where she was going until we had the Thailand video. It messed me up too. I wasn't ready.
Wait till the Philippines conversation.
Yeah, it messed me up. Hey, Pam. Pam said, they can thank you for your congratulations. She considered Mexico City, but didn't do the scouting trip and may end up in another city. Trust me.
Watch Tracy Collins videos about looking for housing in Mexico City.
This is an honest statement, Sabangale. For now, I will stay stateside. We're not sure what the future holds, but it's fun watching all of you who are making plans. And that's why we're doing this. Because, sometimes it's just the sheer motivation, the sheer energy of watching people make these moves. I eat whatever you cook because I know it's good. Food made with the love of cooking.
Absolutely. That's all I'm really saying. Yeah. That is all I'm really saying.
So simple. That's why I got it, girl. That's why I got it.
Oh,
that's
my happy.
Puerto Vallarta is still on our to-do list. We enjoyed that time. You go back and you'll see a video. It's one of our recorded videos. You see us in our bathing suits. And we sat by the pool our last night in Mexico and talked about that trip. So go back and watch that one. That's a good one. Tanya's still in Mississippi.
Yeah, that's my family home state. We from all over Mississippi.
She narrowed it down to Paraguay first.
Oh, yes.
Easy resident program, Mexico and Ecuador. All of those are on the list.
Yes, we looked at Paraguay, Uruguay, Peru, Colombia. Y'all. I mean, it almost gets to the point where you're just like, stop searching because you're going to keep finding great places. And I think that's the point is we have been told that the best place on earth is the US. And I'm finding that ain't always the case, depending on your criteria.
I'm starting to meet some of the folks in the Black in Mazatlan group. My move to Mazatlan is in January.
That's right.
Congratulations.
That's right. We're going to have some follow-up conversations with people that we've interviewed, and bam, Nikki was just looking around and took a chance to apply for a job. Girl, I'm hoping you're okay with me sharing this, and they were like, yeah, we want to, 2 days later, we want to interview you. 3 days later, got a job offer, getting out of here in January. When you put in the universe your desires, you need to be ready for the universe to answer.
All right.
Write it down.
All right.
Say it out loud. Get in community. I promise you.
Come on, Bishop.
Dreams are to be fulfilled. And so it may not come in the way that we thought it would, but I promise you, you will not be disappointed by the effort. So,
all right. Any one last question? Anybody got one last hit?
Thank you.
Any one last hit? Catch us before we go. We're preparing for these Thanksgivings, for these Friendsgivings, and I got some cakes and pies. I'm gonna be up late tonight making.
Amen.
Yeah. So
amen for that bourbon chocolate.
Yeah, tonight I need to make a carrot cake and a bourbon. I'm gonna pour some Uncle Nearest over to some chocolate pecan pie, and see if we can't get that ready. So it'll be a late night tonight, so that we have an easy day on Thursday.
All right.
Love you all.
We appreciate your support. We will say bye for now.
Thank you for celebrating with us, for being here. Oh, it's been a great journey, and we continue to move forward. We will be announcing some new projects this coming week. Join us on Saturday. We have at our regular time.
Yes.
At our regular time.
We will be back at 1 p.m.
1 p.m. Central
time. Yeah.
Right, because we're going to share some projects that we are launching that we want you to be a part of.
Yes. Super Chats, now that we have officially monetized, Super Chats is available. We're going to be opening up some community opportunities.
Absolutely.
Some newsletters.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have, I've had that available for the last 3 weeks, and I will be dropping the link for you to sign up for the newsletter in the description of this video. And we'll also put it on Instagram so that folks can sign up for our newsletter as we are releasing some of the new upcoming content. We've had people to say, we didn't know you were going to be live. We're going to be formalizing that so that you all are more prepared outside of just the notifications from YouTube. So thank you for celebrating with us today. Please have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you.
Have a great holiday.
And yes, have a great holiday, everyone. Thanks for being our friends this Friendsgiving.
See you soon.
Bye.